Knowledge for Men, episode 20.
Welcome to knowledgeformen.com, where boys turn into men, where men turn into leaders, into lions, the ferocious few who stand strong, a place where you grow to become the man you were born to be. It's time to take massive action towards the life you want. Get the health, get the relationships, business, and career you've always dreamed of. Achieve a level of success and happiness that you've been searching for so many years. Life has given you enough, and it's time to take a stand and take full control of your life. Stand with us as we interview the most inspiring and successful leaders to give you real-world advice to crush life and awaken the sleeping giant inside of you. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download today at kfmbook.com. There's over 100,000 titles to choose from for your smartphone, tablet, or computer. It's a perfect way to listen to your favorite books in the car, in the gym, or at home. Check out kfmbook.com to start learning in your downtime.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. Today we have our first ever female guest. Finally got this going. Been trying to get a female on here for a while, and boom, we have Kezia Noble, dating expert for men. She's a published author of the best-selling book, The Noble Art of Seducing Women, is a regular newspaper and magazine columnist, as well as a frequent guest dating expert on TV shows across the globe. I think today, guys, we're going to learn some unique points and perspectives on the opposite sex. So let's give it up for Kezia Noble.
And I'm happy to be here.
Alrighty, let's jump in with your favorite success quote. Kezia, what do you got for us?
I would rather live a life of oh wells than what ifs. I think that when I first heard it, like years ago, it just resonated with me so much. I was like, that's exactly how I've always lived. I'm a can-do person. I don't see any barriers. I don't see any red lights. And I've looked back in my past and I've gone, oh, well, that didn't work out. But I've seen people who just gone, oh, what if? What if I'd done that? What if I'd chosen this? And they're the most depressed people. I don't want to be like that.
Oh, just like Pepsi says, live for now. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kezia, everyone's kind of wondering, how did Kezia get involved as a dating and relationship coach? Everyone wants to know, so the stage, or should I say the mic, is yours. Go ahead, share with the audience your story.
Well, let's go way back to 2006. I was minding my own business, and a man approached me in a bar, and he tells me he's a pickup artist. And literally, I said, what is that? I thought a pickup artist was something to do with poker or something. I'm not kidding. I was completely naive about the whole community, what it was. And he told me what it was. And he said, look, we teach guys how to improve their success rate with women by giving them skills and techniques. And I was like, you can't do that. I was a complete skeptic. I said, you cannot do that. You either got it or you haven't. He says, I tell you what, come down to one of our training camps. And this is in central London, and we'll prove it to you. And plus, you can give some feedback to the guys. I was thinking, oh my God, they've even got courses about this. This is unreal. So then I went down there, and there's two things that I noticed. This is way back. I noticed, first of all, that there were indeed skills and techniques that really did help men. And secondly, I noticed that there was no real honest female advice. Now, there were some other girls they'd invited to this boot camp. And they were really nice, and they were giving this kind of generic advice, which guys have heard so many times before. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be Kezia. I'm going to be very direct, very straightforward. And I gave them the most honest insight into the female mind they had ever heard. And I was just going to be like, I was just going to leave thinking, okay, I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Goodbye. Thanks for the experience. And suddenly the CEO of the company, he stopped me and he said, wait, hold on, all these guys, they want to spend more time with you. And before I knew it, I was working for this company. And before I knew it, I got a book deal, a publishing deal. And before I knew it, I have my own company. So it's all very quick. And it's because a lot of men out there really want that no-nonsense insight into the female mind. And what I do is I provide the feedback that their female friends are too nice to give them, and the feedback and advice that their ex-girlfriends failed to provide them.
Okay, and so, Kezia, what would you say differentiates you from these other guys who are dating and relationship coaches, like so many that I've had on this show already? Like, what is your key differentiator?
Oh, well, a man can tell you what works for him. And I have a lot of most of my instructors on my team of 25 people are male instructors. I've got like about 5 women and the rest are men. And men can tell you, look, this is what works for me. And that's very good. But I have firsthand experience of being seduced, rejecting guys, why I've rejected guys, chasing guys. I can give that first-hand information. A lot of the times guys will think, okay, I don't want to be morphed or molded into being her specific type. But here's the thing. I have a type, like every single person on this planet has a type. They have an ideal of what they think is attractive in terms of looks and in regards to personality. However, how many times have I actually dated a guy like that? I've fallen in love with guys who are nothing like my type. And something that all these guys had in common was game. They were not my type, they had game. And that is what I'm teaching guys, game.
All right, we'll touch on game in just a second, guys, but for now, let's dive into Mr. Nice Guy. And what are females' opinions on the nice guy? Girls often say, I just want a nice guy, but you see them with something entirely different. What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, we have to understand what the nice guy is. So I'm going to throw the question to you. What do you, when I say nice guy, what conjures up in your mind?
Okay, most likely being needy, try hard, or somebody who lacks the abundance mindset, or they have that scarcity mentality going on.
Okay, so yes, when I ask people to break down what the nice guy is, it's quite interesting because they do come out with what you just said and a few other things. But what I'm trying to get to here is that they're not the good guy. So a lot of guys think that the nice guy is the good guy until they're breaking him down. And here's the problem. So a lot of guys who are genuinely really caring, lovely, amazing men will be an asshole, as you say in America. They will start to treat the woman badly because they think, well, I can't be this nice guy. I've got to be this bad guy because that's what I've been taught. However, women are attracted to the bad guy and the good guy. They're polar opposites on the surface, but really they have so many similarities, which the nice guy doesn't have. The nice guy is not the good guy. He is bland, forgettable, and replaceable. The nice guy is a mask. A lot of people wear that nice guy mask when they're unsure of what to do. So they think, I'll stay neutral. I'll be a vanilla milkshake.
But I like vanilla.
and it's all good. And I'll eventually get the girl into bed just by being agreeable and, as you said, bland and needy. So let's look at the good guy and the bad guy, because to understand those two, you'll have more clarity when it comes to the nice guy, because you have to know what it is that you need to avoid. So the good guy and the bad guy, what do they have in common? They both present a challenge, a purpose, and a role for the woman. Let me explain. The bad guy, he presents a challenge that the woman needs to fix him somehow. She believes that there's this sweet puppy dog nature deep down, and he'll show glimpses of that now and again. So it's a consistent challenge for the woman. And every time he gives her that glimpse of this sweet, warm guy, and he's very clever, the bad guy, he will purposely show her little glimpses of this. And it's almost hooking her in. She believes, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the girl that's going to fix him, who's going to change him. So the good guy, on the other hand, he's this amazing, brilliant person. So what challenge is he showing? What purpose, what role? It's quite interesting because the challenge is actually an internal one for the woman. It's internal. She has to internally change herself to impress him. He understands his quality. The good guy understands his worth. He understands he is in demand. So I noticed, like, when I was with the good guys and I was dating them, I really had to work on how I was behaving amongst other people. Was I being polite to the waiter when we went out because they wouldn't tolerate that? Could I show that I was a nice enough person for him, a good enough quality girl for him? Whereas the bad guy is not so interested in that. He's more worried about looks. But either way, it's still a challenge. A challenge is presented into the situation, into the interaction. Another thing about the good guy is he will show elements of the bad guy sexually. So we'll be sitting down having dinner and it'll all be lovely and he'll be polite. And then suddenly he'll lean over to me and he'll say something like, I can't wait to see you on all fours. Do you mind passing me the salt and pepper? So he puts a glimpse in there. He's saying, look, although all this on the surface is very lovely, we're going to have sex later. And it's quite dominant, actually. But he shows glimpses of it. And then the woman's like, wow, that's multi-dimensional. That's not, the nice guy is one-dimensional. The good guy and the bad guy are showing elements of each other. So when you get the skill right, it's so powerful. And it is a hard one to master, but it's powerful when you know how.
All right. So it sounds like the good guy has elements of both the nice guy, or you can say the provider, and the bad guy, or you can say the lover. And what you get is this good guy, the guy all women want. And based on what you said, it sounds like the good guy simply values himself, values his time more so than a girl he just met or is just starting a date. So removing putting that woman on a pedestal, which makes women run away. Also, he has a sense of entitlement. Like you mentioned about saying sexually suggestive things, only a guy who feels entitled to this girl or entitled to what he's going after in life or what he wants would say something like that. And ultimately, what we're talking about here is demonstrating a high level of confidence in yourself. So now, Kezia, let's talk about what prevents guys from becoming the good guy, the guy all women want.
Well, fear of rejection. If he feels on some level that if he puts his heart on his sleeve, he might get hurt. So what he does is he creates this sort of bland, forgettable personality. It's almost subconscious. And then let's say she turns around and says, I'm not really interested in you. I just want to have you as a friend. He will say to himself, she didn't really reject me for me. I wasn't really being myself with her anyhow. I could have done better. It's like a consolation prize almost. I think that's one of the reasons. The second reason, fear creates what I like to call decision-making paralysis. So if you're really stressed out and you've got this girl here, and we get stressed in different situations. Some people get stressed doing public speaking. Some people get very stressed doing an interview like me and you. You can get the most confident person, as you know, who has sat here, done a Skype session with you, and just completely froze. And it's just because it's decision-making paralysis. They don't know where to go. What do I do next? Do I follow a script? Oh, I can't remember the script, because when you're worried, when you're nervous, you can't remember